What's going on, everyone? This is FITMINDS Chicago. Again, like I mentioned in the first video, if you are a current CTA bus operator student and you're watching this video, or if you are newly qualified CTA bus operator, and any of the information that I'm providing for the people that are watching this video, if any of the information that I'm stating or giving my opinion about it, and anything that has changed or anything that has been updated with the processes with becoming a CTA bus operator, please drop it down in the comments. We want to know what's new and improved. Did they have improved anything in the process here? Like I said, the time that I became a bus operator was in 2022. So it's been a few years since I've been through the process, but from what I know, from what I've been told, things haven't really changed since. In part one of these videos, we talked about actually applying, what that looks like. Talked about CDL permit. You do have to get that. That's probably I think the hardest part of this whole process of becoming a bus operator is getting that CDL permit, because there's 3 tests you have to take, right? There's a general knowledge for CDL Class B. There's a test for air brakes endorsement, and there's a test for passenger endorsement. So I think that is probably the best thing I would focus on at this time, along with getting everything else set in place for this for becoming a bus operator. If you can get that as soon as possible, I would definitely recommend it. So you applied, you're studying for your CDL, you did your assessment, you passed the assessment, shout out to you. So what's next? The next part, you're gonna get a email to do an interview, right? Because these interviews are virtual. I believe they use Zoom as the platform. If they don't, then whatever platform they use should be mobile friendly, along with, of course, computer friendly, which is a great thing and sometimes a little tricky thing. It's a great thing because you don't have to wake up super early so that you can get all dressed up and make sure you're presentable. You don't have to drive to 567, which is 567 West Lake Street is the headquarters of CTA. So we just say 567. You don't have to drive to 567 or take the bus and train to get to 567. You don't got to worry about parking and paying for parking, because you know how downtown parking is atrocious, right? But the good thing about virtual interviews is that you get to do it in the comfort of your own home, or if you have to schedule your interview during your lunch break at your current job, then you do it at a bathroom, or most people do it in their car if they are working that day when the interview is taking place. So that's one thing good, right? You don't have to deal with all the traffic and the paying for parking and all that. Keep in mind that if you do choose to do your interview at home and you have other people that live with you at home, babies, small children, dogs, other adults that live with you, please plan ahead. Meaning, if you need to put your dogs up, do your interview in the bathroom. If you need to ask someone to watch your kids, just so that you can have the least amount of excessive noise in the background. But not only that, you can be 100% focused, and CTA has your attention fully, right? Another good thing about the interview being virtual is that you ain't gotta be head to toe interview ready. You know what I'm saying? Because really, your angle should only really be how I'm sitting right here, shoulder and up. You know what I'm saying? For what reason would you need to see my legs, my socks, my toes? You know what I'm saying? So I know for me, when I interviewed, I had a very nice blouse, so my hair done. I ain't had no crusties in my eyes. My face was oiled up. You know what I'm saying? And at the bottom, I had shorts, because they ain't seeing my bottoms. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. You just gotta make sure you're presentable from at least shoulder up. That's my recommendation. If you are using your cell phone and you're kind of in like an awkward place to do your interview, again, just try to angle it in a way that they only see your shoulder up. CTA should have some type of grace with these interviews, right? They understand that people are not going to 567 to do these interviews, so they should have some type of grace with these interviews. Be yourself, but don't get crazy. Be yourself, be professional at the same time, right? You want to give off the impression that you would love this job, you would love the opportunity to work for CTA, right? One of the things that helped me with the interview, and this is something that I've learned to utilize even when I was working for Chase, I was working for Comcast, Adrian helped me with kind of mastering the STAR method of interviews. Look it up. STAR method is a way to make sure that you're concise with your answers, that you are really focusing in on what the question is and how you're going to answer it correctly, where you're not rambling. Because that's, for me, I'm a rambler. I talk about one thing and I go so left field with it that I'm gonna end up talking about something completely different. So if you're one of those people, if you can relate, I will utilize and try to think about how you can implement the STAR method in your answers with these interviews. Okay, so that's the next step, is the interview. After the interview, if you are selected from there, congratulations again. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna get scheduled to come down to 567, again, CTA headquarters downtown. At this appointment or this time session, you're going to be at 567. They're going to do a background check. They're going to do fingerprints. You may fill out a few forms with that, and then they're going to send you to Concentra. If you're not sure what Concentra is a clinic, a medical clinic. That is who we meaning CTA uses for their drug tests and their physical exams. When you do get sent to Concentra, there's a Concentra a few blocks away from 567, maybe like a mile, if not less distance than that. When you get to Concentra, that's probably going to be the longest time that you're going to be spending during the day or during this appointment of this time with CTA, because they have a lot of people they have to take care of at Concentra. You also have to consider the amount of people that are in this group with you, right, that are doing the same thing with you. So just keep that in mind. You may need to, they'll tell you how many hours you should plan for this whole, from start to finish. If I remember correctly, from start to finish, it was like 3-4 hours I spent with not only 567 and then Concentra. With one of the things that Concentra will do, they're gonna also measure your neck, and that's a very important thing that they do, because number one, they want to make sure you're healthy, right? But number two, they want to make sure that you do not have sleep apnea. First and foremost, if you do have sleep apnea and you are using a CPAP machine, please let the doctor know, so that they can let CTA know, because if they see that your neck is a certain diameter and it's not in the size that they need it to be, right, based on whatever chart they're using, then they're going to go ahead and delay your start date. And from experience, and I got permission from Adrian to share this experience, when they did his physical exam with Concentra, at this point, the measurement of his neck was too high for their liking. At that point, that is when they're going to go ahead and refer you to complete a sleep apnea test. They want to see if you actually have sleep apnea, because you'll think about, if you are trying to become a bus operator, you have to think about the lives that you have, full responsibility for, right? And they want to make sure that you just don't fall asleep at a drop of a dime. So with Adrian, he did a test, turns out he did have sleep apnea, but it's such a long process. Number one, to do the test, have whatever third-party vendor that they use for the test, for them to receive the results, send it back to CTA, and then at that point, he had to go ahead and get a CPAP machine. I have time with using that CPAP machine before they could even say, here you go, here's your start date with the company. So keep in mind, if you think you have sleep apnea, I'm throwing that out there with that disclaimer. If you do have sleep apnea and you are using a CPAP machine already, make sure you disclose that information with the doctor at Concentra. And if you don't know, then you'll find out then. Let's just say everything goes well with Concentra. You don't have to do any sleep apnea tests, anything like that. Everything looks good. At that point, what I would continue to do is to study and get this CDL permit, because again, you cannot move forward, you cannot get a start date unless you have this CDL permit. So that's very important that I want to add out there. So after you've done the Concentra, you get an email saying congratulations, you passed all the steps you have to do. We're going to go ahead and give you a start date.